When nature decides to unleash its fury, the results are nothing short of catastrophic. Witness one of the most shocking moments ever captured on camera. In this harrowing footage, a towering residential building succumbs to the relentless forces of nature. Without warning, the structure collapses, sending plumes of dust and debris skyward. The sheer power displayed here serves as a stark reminder of nature's unpredictability. And might. With almost no warning, a violent hailstorm descends on a busy highway. Massive chunks of ice slam into the ground, hammering vehicles and forcing drivers to a sudden halt. Windshields shatter, metal dents under the relentless assault, and visibility drops to nearly zero within seconds. In the middle of raging floods, a rare water cyclone forms, swirling with unstoppable force. In seconds, an ordinary street transforms into a spinning nightmare, showing just how wild nature's fury can become. Airborne debris turns into deadly missiles. In seconds, a loose metal sheet crashes into a parked car, a terrifying reminder of how dangerous storm winds can be. Relentless waves pound the coast with unstoppable force, tearing over barriers and flooding entire streets. With each surge, the power of the ocean becomes impossible to ignore, a brutal display of nature's raw fury. The storm had only just begun, but this tree was already losing the battle. A sudden gust, stronger than anything yet, starts pushing the tree beyond its limits. And then it happened. The giant snapped and came crashing down with a thunderous crack. What once stood tall now blocks the road like a fallen giant, and the storm is far from over. It starts like any other stormy day, but the sea is restless. Too restless. The water draws back with eerie silence, the kind that always means trouble. Then, without warning, the ocean strikes, hammering the cliffs with full force. Wave after wave follows, each more violent than the last. The land barely holds on. Even the air turns into water. You can't see, you can't breathe, only survive. The storm pauses, but no one dares to believe it's over. One last roar, as if the sea itself was warning us not to forget its power. Above the sea, a swirling monster begins to form, pulling boats into its spin like helpless toys. Nothing can escape once it's caught in the eye of the storm.
The water reservoir at the top was used for water storage from jade mining, but an accident caused it to rupture, and the contents cascaded down the mountain, causing a terrible flood.
Inside the bus, panic sets in as muddy waters pour through the doors. The flood isn't just outside anymore. It's coming for everyone trapped inside. At first, it looks like slow-moving water, but within seconds, the current picks up speed, and so do the cars. They're not driving anymore. They're floating. No, they're crashing, one by one. The vehicles slam into each other, pushed with brutal force by the flood. It started with a few thuds. Then came the storm. Massive chunks of ice, not raindrops, but jagged hailstones, slam into the car roof like 1,000 hammer blows. The sound is deafening. Within seconds, the windshield shatters. This isn't just water. It's a wall of mud, debris, and pure destruction. A volcanic mud flow crashes over the barrier, rushing into the streets with terrifying speed. People run for their lives as the ground itself seems to rise and chase them. The wind doesn't just howl, it attacks. Everything in its path is lifted, thrown, and shattered.
Okay.
Within minutes, the entire city disappears under a blanket of dust. Day turns to darkness, and the air becomes thick with sand. Nothing can be seen, nothing can be heard. Only the storm remains. The storm didn't knock. It tore straight through. Trees, signs, even rooftops were ripped into the air like paper. Nothing was safe.
Так короче, все в песке. Ой, вы видели, что я сняла?
A massive landslide crashes down, and a bus caught in its path begins to slide backwards. The road is no longer solid. It's collapsing beneath them. The rain lashes down like needles, and the wind roars with fury. Trees bend low, forced to bow under the pressure, until one finally gives in, crashing to the ground. On the road, cars speed past, trying to outrun the storm. A biker passes through without a clue of what's coming. Then the earth cracks open. A huge chunk of land tears away, dragging trees down with it. But it doesn't stop there. The collapse spreads fast. People start running, shouting, some filming the moment. But the danger is growing by the second. What looked like a small landslide turns into a nightmare unraveling in real time. One moment, it stood firm. The next, it was gone. The bridge snapped and crumbled into the water below. A terrifying collapse caught in real time. Thankfully, no one was on it, but the shock was instant. People stood frozen, confused, worried, and wondering how they'd ever cross to the other side now. The river was calm until it wasn't. Without warning, the current picked up. Faster, louder, more violent with each passing second. What began as a steady flow turned into a rushing wall of water, rising and racing like it had a mind of its own. This isn't just rain, it's destruction from the sky. The downpour turns violent, hammering the windshield until it shatters, spraying glass across the seats, metal dents, windows explode, and every hit sounds like the sky is trying to tear the car apart. The winds howled louder with each gust, shaking the trees like they were made of paper. Then, a loud crack. A massive tree gave in and came crashing down. The water begins to spiral, slow at first, then faster, until it forms a massive whirlpool, pulling everything into its center. A boat nearby fights to escape the current, its engine straining as the swirling force grows stronger. It's like the river itself has come alive, hungry and unforgiving. In another spot, the surface suddenly collapses into a gaping sinkhole, sucking in plants, branches, and anything floating nearby. It doesn't splash, it swallows, quietly, endlessly, like a giant monster beneath the surface pulling everything into the dark. You can't help but stare. It's mesmerizing and terrifying. The flood didn't knock. It rose quietly, inch by inch, until the entire first floor vanished beneath the water. Bolts of lightning tear through the sky, lighting up the darkness with blinding flashes, each strike louder, closer, like the sky is at war with the ground. People run for their lives, but the earth keeps falling, louder, faster, heavier. It doesn't stop. Rocks thunder past like an avalanche of wreckage, and every second feels like it could be the last. Stacked with vehicles, it battles rising waves that slam against its sides like warning shots. Each swell hits harder. The ship tilts forward, groaning under its own weight as water rushes in from every side. In moments, it begins to disappear, swallowed by the sea, piece by piece, until nothing remains but bubbles and silence. Hailstones smash into the car like bullets, denting the body and hammering the windshield until it finally shatters. Flames leap across the road, turning the sky orange and the air to smoke. Trees explode on both sides as a woman inside the car prays.
Please help us. Please help us to be safe.
The only thing she can do while driving through hell itself. Thunder cracked above. Waves turned violent. In seconds, people ran, not for fun, but to escape the storm chasing them down the beach. The elevator doors open, but instead of safety, there's a storm waiting. In a split second, the bridge gives way, and a car goes down with it, right in front of other drivers. The road vanishes into chaos. The clouds roll in thick and heavy, swallowing the daylight like a curtain dropping on the world. What was day now feels like night. A breathtaking sight, but one that carries an eerie warning. The water came fast, and nothing could stop it. Cars were picked up and thrown like toys. A whole house broke loose and started floating away. The waves weren't supposed to come this far, but they did. People started backing away, but the sea was already chasing them. A loud crack splits the sky. Lightning hits, and the billboard comes crashing down. People scream and run as metal slams into the ground just feet away. The ground didn't just crack. Roads, trees, even houses moved with it, floating away straight into the water. The wind hit so hard, it turned a backyard trampoline into a flying kite.
Oh my god! Get Mike, look at your line!
Yes, the lava didn't stop. It crept forward slowly, then tried to swallow the car whole. The ground began to shake, and this time it didn't stop. Inside the house, walls rattled and furniture slid. Outside, the ground moved like waves. From deep within the earth, the volcano awakens. Not with an explosion, but a slow, unstoppable release. Lava begins to flow, glowing bright like liquid fire. It moves with eerie calm, creeping down the slope as if it's alive. It's magnificent, terrifying, and strangely beautiful. You can't look away. To one side, the calm beach. To the other, a monster of wind and dust closing in fast. People look around, searching for a way out, but there's nowhere to run. The shaking starts suddenly. Fast, violent, and terrifying. Everything moves. Walls tremble, furniture crashes, and panic spreads. Even the cats freeze, wide-eyed as if asking, "Why is the ground moving?" The ground starts to slip. Then, all at once, it gives way. Tons of earth and rock crash down the slope, dragging trees, roads, and everything in the way. No flames on the leaves or bark, just a glowing heart deep in the trunk, like the tree is alive with fire.
When they've been hit by lightning before, I've seen a trees do it on videos, but I've never seen one for real.
The rain didn't stop, and now the roads are rivers. Cars try to cross, but the water's too deep. Engines stall, wheels sink, and one by one, they're stuck.
I flooded the engine. We gotta let it go, we gotta let it go, we gotta let it go, guys. Back up! Turn into the wind, turn into the wind, turn into the wind! Oh, boy!
The wind was strong, too strong. It picked up a wooden board and hurled it straight into the car's windshield. Glass shattered on impact. The river isn't just flowing, it's raging. The stream moves with wild force, pulling everything in its path. One wrong step, and you're gone with the current. In just seconds, the entire building gives way. Concrete, steel, and glass crumble together as it collapses straight to the ground. There's nothing left standing, just dust, debris, and silence. The clouds roll in slow, but there's nothing gentle about them. They twist and grow, turning the sky into something dark and alive, like a monster forming above. The wind wasn't just strong, it was wild. Chairs, sofas, anything not tied down was picked up and thrown like paper. The winds were so strong, people ran for their lives, rushing into the store for safety. But the storm didn't stop at the door. It followed them, wrapping around the building like it was coming for everyone inside. There was nowhere left to hide. The wind was everywhere. Out of nowhere, the house burst into flames. No warning, no sign, just fire consuming everything in seconds. Dust begins to slide down the mountain, light at first, almost easy to miss. It sweeps across the windshield like a warning. Is it just the wind, or a sign that something bigger is about to break loose? This car isn't driving anymore. It's floating. One moment it was on the road. The next, it was swept away by the flood. How did it happen so fast? A hidden current? A missed turn? Either way, the road is gone, and the car is at the mercy of the water. The flood doesn't just move water, it moves cars. One vehicle slams into another. The ground shook so hard, the walls couldn't hold steady, and neither could the people inside. Panic broke out as customers dropped everything and ran out of the restaurant, terrified. In moments like this, there's no time to think, only to escape. The shaking was violent, but no one expected what came next. Right in front of them, the building crumbled, piece by piece, floor by floor, crashing to the ground in a cloud of dust and debris. Two oceans, side by side, yet refusing to blend. One dark, one pale, a perfect line between them, as if nature drew a boundary in the water. What causes it? A clash of salt, temperature, or something deeper? Whatever it is, it's both beautiful and a little unsettling. It doesn't look real, but it is. Flames rising from the water as if the sea itself is on fire. Could it be gas? Oil? A leak we never saw coming? Whatever caused it, one thing's certain. Water is supposed to stop fire, not carry it. It looks like smoke rising from the ice, but there's no fire, just cold winds tearing across the frozen ground, lifting mist and snow like a ghost drifting through the air. It looks slow, but it's unstoppable. A wall of broken ice crawls over the edge, spilling onto the walkway like a frozen wave. It was meant to stay on land, but the river had other plans. The container house breaks free and floats into the flood, carried like a leaf on a stream. The hail falls fast and heavy, each piece hitting the water with a sharp splash. You can see its power in every drop, like the sky is throwing stones straight from above. This isn't just rain, it's a storm with weight, noise, and fury. It looks like a storm, but these aren't raindrops.
¿Dónde estamos? Agárrale información, chaval, mira que langosta que hay. Ay, no, me muero. ¡Hágale!
Pero para que no se ve nada.
¿Por qué hay tanta langosta?
Ay, hay una banda.
No, esto nunca lo viví. Nunca lo viví.
A massive swarm of locusts crashes into the windshield, covering the sky and slamming against the glass like hail with wings. At first glance, it looks like a giant wave, towering, curling, ready to crash over the houses. But it's not water, it's clouds, rolling low and heavy across the sky, mimicking the ocean in the air. From a distance, it looks almost peaceful, like little red fountains bursting from the earth. But make no mistake, this is raw lava shooting into the air from an active volcano. From above, it looks like the earth is bleeding fire. Lava crawls across the land in glowing veins, slow but unstoppable. Tiny bursts of fire rise from the ground, like glowing fountains dancing in the dark. Each one sprays molten rock into the air, lighting up the landscape with every pulse.